The Shark Deck.
Hello, I'm Johnny Mag with a very busy daily comedy news. John Mulaney is the guest on the newest Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. During the discussion, they started talking about how films are financed. John Mulaney admitted that movie financing is all he thinks about. He said, you ever watch a movie and you notice there's no extras? They didn't have a dime. And you're like, that's Vancouver and there's no extras. Conan jumped in and said, they work for Tim Hortons coffee and a pancake and there's no extras. I had missed this one a couple weeks back. John Mulaney has been working out new material. He was out at Largo. Apparently at the 10 p.m. show a few Tuesdays back, Mulaney made some references to his girlfriend Olivia and spent a good portion of his set talking about the joys of fatherhood. He also told a story about being sued by Comedy Central for $1 million after failing to produce a third comedy special for the outlet. He had signed a 3 special deal for a mere $5,000, and Mulaney said, I don't even think they paid me the whole amount. Tim Dillon is the guest on Joe Rogan. That might be 2 episodes ago by now. I have started listening to that. As you've heard me say before, Tim Dillon is fantastic. Someday Tim Dillon's going to step on a landmine, and I'm going to distance myself from Tim Dillon so fast, it's unbelievable. I will be saying, Tim Dillon, he's terrible. But until then, he's quite funny. He's on Joe Rogan. Dave Chappelle sold out some shows last week in 19 seconds. This from 614now.com. Bo Stenger owns the Old Town East Club and said, I put the ticket link in, pushed refresh, and all tickets were sold out in 19 seconds. I don't know how that's even possible. Are people just on that website going, you know, if Dave Chappelle ever plays here, I'm going to, oh my God, click. I don't know. Maybe they announced like tickets will go on sale. And I don't know how that worked. 19 seconds is impressive. Stenger felt incredibly honored that Chappelle, one of his comedy heroes, was playing at the club. He said he knew my name before I even told him. Mr. Chappelle said, thank you so much for this opportunity. He sells out arenas across the world, yet he's here thanking me. You get really scared when you meet your heroes, but he was absolutely wonderful. Stenger was asked about various Chappelle controversies and said, at the end of the day, I have all the adoration for Chappelle. Comedy can be uplifting to the soul. He's a phenomenon. There's a reason why there's certain stances against Chappelle's jokes and things that he's spoken about, but the whole point of comedy is to turn tragedy into comedy. Any scrutiny or any sort of hatred towards Dave is completely misplaced. Chappelle operates on a sense of love, peace, graciousness. It's remarkable to see what he's accomplished and be as reasonable as a human being can be. Variety reports that Andy Kaufman will be honored posthumously with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. This will happen August 24th. Andy Kaufman, I know you're listening. Look, man, this whole hoax that you're dead, you had a good run. You got almost 50 years out of it. Show up at your star. That would just be like, drop the mic. Oh my God, greatest hoax of all time. Because at some point you have to cash in, because what if you actually die? So I think it is time. Looking forward to seeing Andy Kaufman appear at his own star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame on August 24th. Netflix must really like this Joe Coy fellow. He has signed a deal for 2 more stand-up comedy specials. It'll be his 5th and 6th for Netflix, so these must do really well. Joe Coy sells out arenas. The next one will tape at the King's Theater in Brooklyn on November 10th and 11th. Interesting arena there, and should show up in 2024. Joe is currently on his Joe Coy World Tour. Kevin Hart, never afraid to have a gig. He's got a new commercial. He co-stars with former NFL player Ryan Fitzpatrick. This is for online betting website. Online betting website tells us, leveraging Hart's brand of comedic belligerence and turning Fitzpatrick's last name into Fitzmagic, the commercial both entertains audiences and it informs them about betting website's new promo offer. Jimmy Fallon showed up at the Jonas Brothers concert on Sunday, and Fallon did a cover of Mr. Brightside. Let's listen. You know, Fallon can sing. We've seen him do a lot of good clips on The Tonight Show. Not sure that was Jimmy's best work. Zak Williams, son of Robin Williams, marked the 9th anniversary of Robin's death with an Instagram message. Zak posted, Dad, on the 9th anniversary of your passing, I'm remembering you for your most excellent fashion choices. These days are always hard, and I love remembering you for being so very, very you. Love you so much. He captioned a photo of Robin Williams wearing a pair of shorts and a t-shirt as he waved a racket at fans from a tennis court. Solar Opposites is back. That showed up on Hulu last night with the new voice. Collider said it's incredibly hard to talk about the new season of Solar Opposites without addressing the massive elephant in the room, which was the firing of co-creator and Corvo's voice actor Justin Roiland. I spent a lot of the weekend rewatching Rick and Morty. Collider reminds us, instead of bringing in a sound-alike, the creative team behind Solar Opposites decided to go a different route. Dan Stevens is now the voice of Corvo and has like a British accent thing going. The setup here, minor spoilers, you'll get over it, after Corvo was accidentally stabbed in the throat by a dart thrown by Terry, Yumulak zaps Corvo with a voice restoration ray, which gives him his new, confident British accent. From there on out, the series acts as if nothing has changed. For the new season, it picks up after the season 3 finale. The Solar Opposites are trying to live a more human life. Terry and Corvo now work an office job. Jesse's hanging out with the school's mean girls, and Yumulak likes spending time smoking cigars with the staff in the teacher's lounge. Kill Rock Stars has relaunched their comedy label with the release of Pap Johnson's Timeless. Pap Johnson is an East Bay native who started out his comedy career winning Sony's Death at a Funeral stand-up competition. It was the first time he had ever attempted stand-up. Pap shares his uniquely hilarious perspective on life, death, social graces, morning sex, relationships, political figures, pop culture, and more. He's also willing to look in the mirror and poke fun at his own insecurities. You can stream the album at pocp.co/timeless, or you can watch the special on YouTube. Chortle did not enjoy a show at Fringe. They gave Bishops only 2.5 stars. They write Chris Curran and Noah Matthews checked their privilege at the start of their debut show as Bishops, raising and attempting to quickly dispel questions of whether the Fringe needs another privately educated white boy sketched double act. The answer, of course, is no. But groups like Crybabies keep making formidable cases for themselves. Bishops currently fits the vibe to a T, but they have a fair bit of work to do, writes Chortle. Yikes. The sketches here do just enough to scrape by and provide a reasonable hour of entertainment for the young crowd, but any fan with a couple of fringes under their belt will quickly start pining for the acts that heavily inspire this show. Both performers are good, at least for clearing the bar for sketch acting, but formula starts to emerge pretty early. Yikes. The Daily Mail says Netflix viewers hail masterpiece new comedy. All right, got our attention here. The masterpiece new comedy is Australia's answer to The Office. What's this? You've seen it and it's probably scrolled past on your Netflix. It's Fisk, starring Kitty Flanagan, which describes itself as not another glamorous legal show. One social media user says Kitty Flanagan has created a masterpiece on par with Ricky Gervais's The Office. Fisk is a fast-paced sitcom about high-end contracts lawyer Helen Tudor Fisk forced to take a job at a low-grade suburban law firm after a failed marriage and professional downfall. All right, I will check that out. You know what I accidentally stumbled into over the weekend? No, you don't. How would you possibly know what I stumbled into over the weekend? What a weird setup, Johnny Mac. So I was on Hulu, and I typed in SUNNY. I was looking for a show about some people who own a bar in Philadelphia, and it put that up. But the second thing it showed me after I typed in SUNNY, The Office, parentheses, Hindi version. Yeah, there's 2 seasons of 12 episodes each. 2 times 12 equals 24 of The Office Hindi version. So what did I do? I watched The Office Hindi version. Episode 1, pretty much a remake of the Diversity Day episode, which, by the way, 2 points. 1, Diversity Day is the best episode of The Office. 2, apparently, I haven't confirmed this, they've taken Diversity Day out of the syndication. I don't know if it's still on the streamers, but if you watch The Office on, your local channel there, apparently they don't show that episode anymore because somebody's going to be offended about something. Guys, that's the entire point of the episode. That's the episode that made the series. Why are you not showing it? Nobody's offended. Everyone's laughing. Anyway, the Hindi version of The Office remakes that episode. You do have to turn the captions on unless you speak Hindi. If you don't, you'll be like me and probably be like, I don't understand a word they're saying. I don't speak Hindi. So I turned the captions on and had a good time. The Jim guy is good. The Dwight guy is good. The Michael Scott guy is good. It's the American version more than it is the British version. At least after one episode, I'm going to go back to that. So you'll find the Office Hindi version on Hulu. It was Steve Martin's birthday, and the Hollywood Reporter gave him a nice fluff job. A lot of people came out and said glowing things about Steve Martin. Lorne Michaels said, talent is amazing and stunning when you first encounter it, but it has to get better and have a standard that it lives by. You don't worry when Steve's on something. He's not going to be happy until he cracks it, and even then, he's not going to trust it. Tina Fey told a story. One time, Steve Martin was visiting SNL, and I'd seen him do Letterman the night before. And I said, you were so funny on Letterman last night. Steve Martin matter-of-factly says, well, you have to kill every time. Tina says, it was chilling to me, but it's true. Comedy people can't go on talk shows and blather like actors. We're supposed to deliver. Steve always delivers. Amy Schumer talked about Steve Martin's book, Born Standing Up. Amy says, I don't know a comic who hasn't read that book. He's in the comedy DNA of me and everyone I know. The Hollywood Reporter says, the decades since may have compressed his career arc down to a few catchphrases and indelible images for the general public, but Steve Martin's iconoclastic sets forever minted Martin as a god to the comedy community. He shunned traditional jokes, launched into satirical rants, and in one move that seems unfathomable amid today's pressing safety concerns, frequently encouraged large crowds to follow him to outside venues. Andy Kaufman did that well, but I guess maybe Steve did that first, to be fair. Steve said, and I took the audience across the street to a jazz bar. All 300 people came in, and we went to someone else's jazz guitar show. When the audiences got to be like 1,000, I couldn't do it anymore. It was dangerous, and they couldn't hear me. If you need something to do tonight, John Novosad's new special is on the 800-Pound Gorilla YouTube channel. That is called Jokes I Can Only Tell Here. And if you have Netflix, Jared Freed's 37 and Single premieres. Nice hit for Jared there. And that's your comedy news for today. Follow the show for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your shows. See you tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Mark Francis and host of a new podcast, The Messi Effect. Join us as we take you into the exciting new world of Argentine soccer phenomenon, Lionel Messi. And his new life at Inter Miami will bring you into the glitz, the glamour, the star-studded events, along with the exciting journey to a new world of U.S. soccer and international football with news and stories 3 times a week. Come along for the ride as Messi, Miami, and Major League Soccer experience the journey of a lifetime. Get the Messi Effect wherever you get your podcasts.